Allegiance.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, non-public and public meeting minutes from March 21st, 2024 and March 28th, 2024. We have a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Les, second by Scott. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstentions, so it passes 5-0-0.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for 4/11/24, consisting of accounts payable manifest dated 4/4/24, accounts payable manifest dated 4/11/24, payroll manifest dated 4/11/24, appointment of Lucille Keegan to the 8th Historic District Commission for a 3-year term, administrative abatement for map lot 217-081 in the amount of $320.77, administrative abatement map lot 114-114 and 114-119 and 114-120 in the amount of $83.05. Approval of intent to cut map lot 24-059-01-T water and sewer liens for 2023 in the amount of $6,383.85.
For a second.
Second.
Okay, motion by Don, second by Carol. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Motion to seal the non-public minutes.
Yep. Do that. Make a motion to seal the non-public minutes of April 11th. Because it is determined the divulgence of this information likely would lead to affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board or render a proposed action ineffective. Excuse me.
For a second. Second by Les. So motion by Carol, second by Les. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Roll call.
All that does it to be a roll call vote. Carol?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Rob? Aye.
Aye.
Les, aye. Okay, public hearing on rate increases for water and sewer. Jeff, if you wanna.
There are 3 documents in your folder. If you want to, you can look at those under number 4. But
Can we get another screen each?
Yeah, seriously.
he's so
3
demanding.
documents open at the same time.
You can open one on your screen. I can open one up there. And what do you want me to open on mine?
You can pick up Jeff okay over there. He doesn't need to get in the hot seat.
Yeah, you're okay.
All right.
Good. Yeah, this year we're proposing water and sewer increase. It's 12% on the water and it's 14.5% on the sewer. It seems like a pretty high percentage, but the dollar amount, I feel as though our rates are pretty low, so the dollar amount is not huge. You can see on the screen there the new rates and the increase. To the minimum charge is $4.40 more a quarter for water.
Yep.
36 cents more per 750 gallons or per 100 cubic feet. And so on down the list. Do you happen to have I do have a sheet that I broke down these percentage,
This one?
how it affects the different parts of our budget.
Oops, sorry.
So you can kind of see where that breaks out, staffing, health insurance. Those are where I'm seeing the increases to cover cost. A huge one on the sewer department is the principal interest debt. So that's 8.5% roughly of that 14.5% increase, just to cover that new loan for the Central Street pump station.
I like the sheets, so then we can go back when they have questions saying,
Yeah, if you wanna eliminate something, what can you pick from this list?
Yeah.
There's, you know, there's not a lot that I can, and actually, on the sewer, I needed to raise the rate 16% to cover it, but I'm hoping that I can trim my expenses a bit to keep that cost down a little bit, so.
Okay, I was just gonna ask that you're not,
Yeah,
you're not covering
yeah,
the
I got a
increases.
$10,000, if I tip Rob a little bit from each spot that I, like I got the purchase of a new truck, and if I can shave $5,000 off that purchase, that's huge, towards this.
Okay.
So we did advertise this about 3 weeks, so we brought it to the board first, and then we advertised it about 3 weeks ago, and then I advertised it again, rescheduling it. We put it on Facebook, so we did put these out to the public, multiple avenues, so.
Yeah.
Not
there was-
this document, but we put the rate increases out to the public multiple times.
And there was some feedback, of course, with any increase.
But some were positive, some were negative, 3/4 were negative, but,
It was very, I mean, I didn't go back to the post, but.
I don't
but
have
There's
Facebook.
a
so
former select board member
Don't tell
spoke up and said some things on that post.
Yeah,
So even with that, we're still way below the state court limit.
and that was
Correct,
brought up
yeah.
too.
That was brought up, yeah.
Yeah, we are below the state average.
Yeah.
And that, they're just wrapping up the next, survey. I think every 2 years they do a survey, of all and we participate in that, so.
So these
It'll be
state,
interesting to see even our increase, how much.
yeah, the
I've
state,
never seen the state average come down, so.
yeah. So the state numbers will actually go up since these are older
Yeah,
state numbers.
So we need a motion to approve this?
Yeah, it's $4.40 a quarter for water, for seasonal water, $7.36. It's not.
Right, I know, but when you look at a percentage, they were like,
They
that was,
see the
right,
12
when
and
you
the
see a 12% increase, they're like, oh, great.
Percentages.
So you also, if you're ready to approve it, you also need to motion to make it effective April 1st. They won't see that bill until July, correct, Jeff?
Yes,
But we'll need to say that because it'll start this quarter, so.
Okay, I'm good.
And we did advertise that's when it was starting, if you approved it, so.
I would entertain a motion to approve the 2024 water and sewer rates effective April 1st, 2024.
So moved.
Second that.
Okay, moved by Dawn, second by Carol. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And no abstentions. Vote passes.
Did we
Thank you,
approve
Jeff.
anything else? Did we?
the only other thing was, hookup fees, the fee schedule, that was in Excel, I don't know if you happen to have.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the end.
yes, I do, but let me open that. Wrong one.
We have an Excel sheet
You do, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those tabs, it's probably, there's a water
for
fee.
those people.
And
Yeah,
sewer
computer
fees,
works,
yeah.
right?
Which one's?
You mean this?
Yeah, some of those may have notes in the, little red tabs. I can't see it from here, but what I'm trying to do is just cover our costs for the materials. So that's really the only increase you're seeing.
That's a
So-
$5 increase. Oops, sorry, the note went away. $5 increase for over 2023 covers average cost of 2-hour call out, not including equipment. So that's the after hours cost. Let me see
I
if I
think
can
there's
make it
more
bigger.
on the first page of the long. Not, yeah,
Not that one.
Not the tab, but there should be one right next to that.
That one?
No, the one just tab just before it. Yep, that should be it. So there was quite a few changes there, but the bottom amount kind of summarizes what the increase was overall. Like the 925 and the 875.
Per unit charge here
Yeah.
and total charge here.
Yeah.
So $185 increase here, and that's the service line tap main, right?
Yeah.
And then $875 per unit charge, they increased $100. These are what they would pay on their applications for service.
Right, yeah.
Which tab are you on? 220.
2023 water fees, it's the third tab, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. And if you hover over the red arrows, those are where all Jeff's notes are.
Yeah, pretty fancy, you guys.
Mhm.
Pretty fancy.
Jeff has gotten really fancy at signing
I have to
his
do that
bills.
because I can't remember what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did,
Never seen that before.
the homeowner pay for the meter? Or do we pay?
Yeah, the
we own
homeowner
it?
pays for it. yeah.
They own it, we own it.
We own it still. We ask them to protect it. If there is damage, we pass that cost on to them.
It's more, do they actually pay to purchase the meter, or do they pay for the installation of the meter?
It's, yeah, that's the fees, that's what the fees would cover, so they're actually purchasing the meter
Yeah, okay,
set
yeah.
up. And then each unit, it doesn't necessarily need a meter. If there's two units, it actually could go off of one meter, but there's a unit fee that equates to that same
Right.
total charge for a meter.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
There's also a sewer tab. I don't know if I changed that.
Which, then, sorry, wrong.
I think it might be the tabs after that, the sewer
Yeah, you
fees.
have to
Two
go
after.
over.
2023
Yeah.
sewer fees.
Yeah.
That
A
one,
couple of things were up.
right there, yeah.
Oh, you didn't change any of the fees.
Oh, yeah, it was just that, that's
Just have the
reflecting the rates that,
Yeah.
was just adopted, so, or asked to be adopted.
Do you have any concerns with the changes in the fees?
Nope.
Do you need a motion for those fees, Jeff?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah, just so.
Make the motion that we accept the changes to the water department service connection fees and main tap fees as proposed by.
Can you amend that, he's doing sewer, did you do any sewer fee changes?
No, he said no. Or did
None.
you?
Yeah, no, because that's,
Okay, sorry.
That's right.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Carol, second by Scott. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Is there anything else, Jeff?
We're still plugging away trying to do the Central Street
Yeah.
stuff rather for that.
Do we want to ask about so when we met with you in the work session, there was one thing Jeff and I both can't remember.
Oh, yeah, the term.
So we are moving forward with Franklin Savings Bank. The rate was 5.2%, I believe, and Meredith Village was 5.99, and TD Bank was 5.8 or 5.9. He couldn't tell us which.
Okay.
But, so Franklin Savings Bank obviously came in at the lower rate. I supplied everything but one document to them, and we're working on what he needs.
So we're on track, moving ahead with that then?
Yeah.
Good.
The question, well, I have to get the rest of the stuff to the USDA, which I will get more of that, but the question that came up is, we talked about the 2-year term, and we are doing that 2-year term because we still haven't got a final answer on EDA, but we have our 30 days, hopefully. The question was, do you want to do one monthly interest or one payment at the end of the year? They actually come out to pretty much the same number, but I thought the one payment at the end of the year would be easier, and I just I couldn't remember if we even talked about that.
We did, you mentioned it, I don't think we decided.
We didn't, so.
Yeah, there's not a lot of compounding that you'll get on it, so it's
No.
not,
I'm fine with that.
yeah, I think the one time payment.
Not like a mortgage.
Oh.
Right.
And we're still pursuing the 2 million, over the 2 years, but again, if the EDA drops out, then that will drop down as well, so. And I think that's it, Jeff. Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Whoops, I don't think I need anything else up there.
Are we on to the?
We are on to the TA report.
I do need a quick non-public at the end, but it will be, because I forgot two things before, but that's it. So, TA report, short and sweet, hopefully. Under the executive department, we had a public safety building committee meeting today. Countdown is approximately 8 weeks or mid-June still, so they're still on track. They are working on painting and duct work, flooring the week after next, finishing touches on plumbing after that, and they're working with JP Morrison to set up the parking lot paving finishes. There is a change order that will be presented to you next week, which was supposed to be at last week's meeting, but we moved some of that stuff out. And it's 2 doors that were missed with door strikers, so you'll see that change order next week. Working on the save the date invitation list for the grand opening ceremony, so make sure you hold the date July 31st. Breezeline franchise fee, we finally received. It was a little late. We got $50,291 for 2023. So they will be working with us probably soon. Their franchise expires next year, and they have to start negotiating. So we'll probably be starting something with them. I would think midsummer maybe. But NLRA Shore Drive Drainage Concerns meeting. It's been set for May 2nd at 1 p.m. The location has been picked. I just have to look. It's at 1 p.m. and it'll include the New Hampshire DOT, Bristol Highway. I've invited Mark Buckland. He'll be there. Me, and then Carol Brown. And
No.
You can't go. So Don Milburn was the backup, I thought.
Okay.
Can you make, or somebody else can step in, it would be nice to have a select board member there for that.
You should have a Dick Batchelor from Conservation Commission, Material Conservation Commission, I would think.
And then the church and NLRA, so add Dick Batchelor, okay, if he can come. Who will be the select board member?
Don, I think, did you say?
Yeah, I can do that.
I was just.
I'm just gonna look where it is, because
Sorry, I
I
was
think
just
I
putting
just
it-
got an email.
Putting it in the calendar now while I was thinking about it.
Wait, what's the date?
May 2nd,
May 2nd.
It's Thursday. Thursdays are 10.
it will be at the Marion Center.
That's easy. You can walk.
Oh, excuse me.
1 o'clock.
I'll send an invite out, just because,
That would be,
alright,
yeah. That would help, but I'll mark it down anyhow.
alright. I did put in your folders, wrong remote. Wrong remote, it's not even a remote, sorry. Under the TA report, I did put in, we did apply under the Catalyst pre-application letter. The Pemmipack application for the Northern Borders funding was rejected. The reasoning is that the application did not meet the significant benefits waiver.
So they didn't supply a significant.
They did, but it didn't meet, the justification in the significant benefits waiver did not meet
Okay.
Northern Borders.
So I was just reading it and maybe I'm reading it wrong. Where did it go? Give me 1 second. Gotta get back to
So how much funding did they apply for?
It says, or the documentation submitted did not clearly demonstrate the funds would be invested within the distressed or transitional counties. So, I think it was close to 2 million. Or-
Yeah, it says unfortunately the project did not submit the required
And or,
okay, alright.
so because I submitted the whole application.
Yeah.
And I submitted the benefits waiver with it, so, we're not going into the next round. But we have not been notified about any other funding yet from CDF, Annie Custer. I don't think that they're going, they didn't invite us to submit, they told us to submit to Jane Shaheen's. We did, we haven't heard anything yet, so.
Yeah.
We still haven't heard anything from gotten the paperwork from the funding from the prior year, so
Well,
could be a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
Senator Shaheen's office helped us in the past with some other stuff, just getting it,
Yeah, we got
just
some, we
getting
got,
it going when the Army Corps was sort of dragging their feet and stalling. She had one of her people come over, which helped a lot, so that might be a good path.
they did meet with the Army Corps to discuss some concerns that the PEMIPAS had with the partnership versus the lease. They're still debating that. I think that the ultimate decision should come from the select board. And so I think it would be beneficial for the select board or a representative of the select board and myself to meet with the Army Corps again to discuss the pros and cons of a significant, not significant benefits. To discuss the pros and cons of a partnership versus a lease. They've come a long way, and I see some great benefits with the partnership. There could be the concern is, the PEMIPAS is concerned that there are some drawbacks with funding. But when we met with the Army Corps, Tia did not say that the samples she provided were specific for those samples. They weren't specific to what we would have, so.
So, backing up a little bit, what is the cost to do what we want to do about? Do we know that number?
I
To
can
do
tell you
everything we
what
want to do, all the way down to Profile Falls.
Well, this is what's coming from, we have an estimate, but the estimate has been updated. We did find an error in the estimate, so I had that corrected with Mike Vignali. His calculations were adding up. So when I went to submit it, it was more money than they've been saying it is. So let me just find it real quick and I can tell you. Sorry.
All this could have been already done for free by the Snowmobile Club.
Well, that's,
Well, they are gonna do.
10 years ago.
They're gonna do the in-kind work,
Yeah,
so,
I know.
but it's pretty
you
expensive.
saw where I was going, kind of, sort of? Yeah.
So
I just
because
can't believe how this is
of,
ballooned out of,
oops, where is it? Date modified.
it's just getting ridiculous at this point.
The estimate was corrected on March 22nd, and the new estimate has some contingencies obviously in place for it, but the total estimated construction costs
Can't really do this.
are 1.7 million.
Jeez.
It's not worth it.
You gotta-
So
I'm sorry.
the total
Don't
estimated
get
cost is
to
1.3, and then there's cost escalation, and then there's environmental assessment, preliminary design, construction engineering, it all adds up to 1.7. And so they've put in for that, but there's a percentage that would, we wouldn't pay the full 1.7.
Yeah, no kidding. This is just.
The requested grant amount was just over $1 million, so it was 1.1, 1.2 roughly. So we would still pay about 500,000, but they're claiming it's all in-kind labor. That's what we're applying for, is in-kind labor.
And are there other potential funding sources out there that we could use?
We kicked them out of this room tonight, so they're meeting again, and if you'd like to join them.
Nope.
Yeah, it's.
They are meeting on, hang on. I will probably be there, for the meeting, but, they're meeting the 17th at 5:30 here. The intent is that, they're canceling the EDC and they're doing the PEMIPAS. They want to discuss the partnership, review, there is a land water conservation fund opportunity, and with a June submission, so that's another opportunity.
It's just getting crazy. I just sitting here, I
I
can't
can-
believe that cutting a path through the woods has become a $1.7 million.
Yeah.
Well, Mill Stream.
Cutting a path
is easy.
where a path is that you could walk already, if you knew where it was. It's just amazing that it's grown out of hand.
Mhm.
I'm not surprised. I mean, having done the Mill Stream path all those years ago, the price tag, I can't remember what it was now, but it was a lot that we thought was, no way can
It was
we
like-
do it.
Yeah.
We managed to do it. If anybody can do it, Bill's gonna make sure the funding's out there.
Oh, yeah, no, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's discouraging, but
It is.
I think it would be,
It's totally
personally, I think it would be a great thing for the community
It would.
to have.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And if the Army Corps would have just said, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, but as soon as they started digging in and getting out every other alphabet agency involved, it just is crazy. Sorry.
If we were in a
I'm
conflict,
frustrated that it's not,
yeah,
hasn't been there for 10 years already.
if we were in a conflict, the Army Corps could do that in about a day. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
The CB's in there.
yeah, the Penny Snowmobile Club was
Yeah,
ready, willing, and had everything lined up. They could have put it right, they could have put the path in.
Yep.
All right, oh, well, anyway, sorry.
Moving on.
So,
That's some frustration.
Mhm.
Little Free Library, Kendra Cullen lives on D'Angelo Drive. They've built a Little Free Library, which they've done them in different areas all through the town. They would like to install one with the bucket for the base on the bike path or Mill Stream. I just wanted to double check. I'm gonna reach out to Mark, but I wanted to double check if you had any concerns with one being installed in either location.
No, as long as it's coordinated with Mark. Unless anybody else has any.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where's the bucket on the?
Isn't there one, there's one at the,
There's one at the
Cummings.
Eagle
Yeah.
Scout.
Yeah.
There's one at Eagle Scout, but
Yeah.
to me, that should be turned around, but, because you're looking at the back as you walk by.
Oh, is that at Wells Field?
No, the Eagle Scout Park down here.
Right here by Shackett's, or
Oh, yes, sorry.
Where
was
is,
it Mike, the former Mike?
The old Micah building, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
where is the base on the bike path?
The what? No, they're gonna put it in a bucket, that's the base.
A
bucket
bucket
for
for
the
the base, on the bike path.
So like a
They,
whiskey
they
barrel or
either
something?
want it to be on the bike path or at Mill Stream.
I got my accent and the
I
next
think Mill
level.
Stream would be better, because I think if you put it on the bike path, it's gonna get vandalized.
Right.
And can we just make sure it's like not like a orange one?
Yeah, just not a.
No, I think they're
Yeah.
gonna put it in the ground so
Gotcha.
that they can make it movable.
I see.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't write that right, sorry.
Okay.
But I will coordinate with Mark and make sure he's okay with what they're putting in the ground
Yeah.
and where, so where it would go to, so.
Yes, thank you, I was gonna say that. I don't wanna see a Home Depot bucket sitting there filled with concrete. If we could just, even if they built wooden slats
What
around.
do they call it, a homer bucket?
That was a,
Homer bucket,
yeah.
I just have to pull up this email. I'm gonna skip the next one for a second while I'm looking. Music on the Green, I just wanted to double check with the board on your pleasure to see Music on the Green. Purple Pit is looking to book the dates, so June 8th through August 31st. They do provide insurance coverage, they follow all our conditions, but we do not charge them as they sponsor the music there,
That's
so
awesome.
I think it's great, I just wanna
Yeah,
make sure you're good,
perfect.
okay. We already did the cards, stipend payments, those are checks, those are paper checks, by the way.
Already deposited.
All right, so we're working on fixing it for the next round, and Dawn will get one on the next round, but,
Yeah.
we had to do paper checks this round.
Haven't we always gotten paper checks?
When did you get a paper check?
You
gave us one last
get
time.
direct deposit.
Oh, okay.
I have, because my last ones were direct deposit, and so there's in this one's paper. It
We
doesn't-
get it.
Oh, because you may be set up with the town for direct deposit.
Yeah.
Maybe just because.
So we're gonna fix it, so you get your direct deposit back, because there's no reason you can't, so that, the stipends had to be corrected, that, we hadn't updated it right after town meeting.
Mine's in my pocket.
I know, because I gave it to you earlier. The investment policy, has to be done every year, and it's something we have to provide the auditors. The auditors are here next week, and so when I checked the investment policy, it hasn't been done since 2022. So we want to go ahead, we made no changes, we just changed the dates. I have ran it by the finance office, and they feel this is sufficient, the current finance office, and the current finance office might have some suggestions going forward, so.
Before I go into convulsions, can we fix the spelling errors?
No, because
So,
I had to scan half this because it's not a Word document.
no, I'm just gonna point them out, so you can fix them.
Damn it.
Appendix E, band 1450.
Oh, I didn't even, that's a scan completely.
Okay, so it's
Appendix
it's not
B.
collateralization, and this could become a legal thing, it's collateralization.
Yes, but I'm not fixing them for this round, is that okay?
Yep.
No, I just want you to be aware of it. And then underneath that, on subsection 1450.03, A, it covered by federal deposit insurance, not insurance.
So those reasons those are like that is because we converted a PDF to a Word document and it didn't convert correctly.
Right.
So we're gonna have to retype some of this
Yeah,
because some of it's a scan.
That's what I'm saying, just get it corrected, so I don't have to be the second, but.
But if you are okay with no changes, just if everything is ready to go, all I need is you to vote on it so I can give it to the auditors and then I can correct all your errors.
Okay, I appreciate that, because I just don't want into convulsions.
Are there any corrections on the back of the signing page, 10, 11, 12? So if you sign this page, you make corrections, you can print the
I can
other
fix the
ones.
appendix, yeah. It's the appendixes that he pointed out the errors, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
I didn't see any errors in the main body, just in the appendix.
I'm gonna skip down one too. The auditors are here next week. I have a survey, that needs to be completed by the Board of Selectmen. It can be the chair.
It's the chair's job.
Yes.
So if the chair can, I need it back, I need it back by Monday.
You better have me do it now.
Okay, so do you wanna, you can look at the questions
It's
as a
sort of
group
done.
if you want to, but, we have to.
Wait, what is the survey for again?
So,
It's
go
done.
ahead, it's the auditors require us to do surveys, so, or questionnaires, not survey, questionnaire. The select board has a questionnaire, and then the trustees of the trust funds have one, the treasurer has one, and I think this year, that's it, and the library trustees have one. I sent everything out and I apologize to people because I didn't know that I was supposed to disperse this, but I did get it out, and everybody's supposed to get everything back to me by the weekend or Monday. Because we need to provide a lot of documentation to the auditors next week, so. Town clerk's already got almost hers done, and I'm meeting with the IT company tomorrow to go over their list of IT controls. That's also, the document they give us is about a 30-page document of things that we have to provide them, so.
We have a code of ethics in the employee manual, correct?
We have
We
one
have a
somewhere.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we need an official motion for the investment policy?
Yes.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the investment policy with no changes.
Second.
Okay, motion by Don, second by Les, to approve the investment policy with an effective date of
4/11/24.
4/11/24. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Christina, what else you got?
I'm gonna go backwards now, because I think I found the parsonage email. Okay, so I just, wanted to give a public parsonage update, a review of the schedule with you. So, I think I sent you out an email, and it's not in your folders tonight, but I sent you out an email April 5th. We had to meet with the planning board and the conservation commission and get their input, and we have done that, and I have that to share at the public hearing. Then you have to hold 2 public hearings that are very specific on how you hold them. So we posted the public hearing. You will have your first one April 16th at 6 p.m. And then the second public hearing is May 2nd at 6 p.m. And then the third,
Wait, April 16th?
no, April
18th.
18th.
Okay, you said 16th.
It's because of my mask.
Oh, sorry,
We're on TV, so I'm wearing it.
Second.
So April 18th at 6 p.m.
gotcha, okay.
And then May 2nd at 6 p.m. And then the third meeting is just a regular meeting. It's May 16th. It doesn't require notice, but it requires you to vote on the transaction at the meeting. I will have like a motion for you prepared for that night. And then now while all this is going on, what we're doing behind the scenes, we're working on the unmerger. The lots were, again, involuntarily merged in the past. The surveyor should be able to start now. So we'll be filling out the application for the unmerger, and it'll go to the board to approve, which I'll probably bring it to your vote meeting, or even one of your public hearings. It won't matter which, but the historic review, I've submitted everything to Mike McNally, and he's getting that done. Finalize the sale. Once we have once we have those 2 items done above, we can move forward with finalizing the sale, which will include the deeds, the easements on the parking, and any other requirements or conditions that come up because of maybe the historic review or anything else. And then the only other thing would be, which I can start those processes going once we have the survey. I can't do the deed until we have the survey because we need the boundaries for the deed, which Chris Fillmore will help do that. So as soon as the top number 1 and number 2 are done, we will pursue the deeds. And my question would be, what is a time frame for closing? I don't think it can be, obviously it can't be before your vote, which is May 16th, but I just don't know how long the other stuff is gonna take. So I could estimate for him the end of May and let him know it could be the end of May for the closing.
Do we have a title company we're working with?
We're going through the town's attorney.
Okay, so, okay, sorry.
Would we close at one of our meetings, or is that just?
I think you would just vote to authorize me to sign it,
Yeah. I mean,
or you'd sign the deed at one of your meetings, sorry, but,
I'd say we're not in a hurry, but are we in a hurry? Do we want to get torn down before,
yeah.
what,
I mean, we're not in,
middle of November?
it's not an emergency that we have to tie something down, but
No,
Is this something we need to sign?
no, that was just in case anybody needed to look at an invoice. Usually it's in a folder, another folder, so.
so. Can't we play it by ear, or whatever?
I can give him a rough estimate that we're probably looking at the end of May, but it
That's
depends on if everything gets done.
Who needs to be there?
At the closing, no one.
Yeah,
We just we'll cut a check, sign the deeds,
So there's something.
sign the easements and
Yeah.
move forward, so. But we would just have you vote at your meeting. I think he thinks it's an official closing. It wouldn't be, it's very simple with the town once you get through all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So, but But that email did give you an outline of what we have to go through, and we are already doing that,
Just
so.
forward it with it as soon as possible.
Yeah. So once we get
Whenever
the,
it's convenient.
once we get the title for the deed and then we put out an RPF, how long is the RPF timed? Does it have to be a
RFP.
RFP, sorry.
My dyslexic friend.
Once we get ownership of the property, then we can set the schedule. I can actually talk to Mike Vignali, he would be the one, that would be organizing it first and ask him to come up with a timeline.
Yeah.
An estimated timeline, so he can give us a timeline, so he can say it's gonna be 2 weeks, 3 weeks for us to get the RFPs out and how quickly and what the timeframes would be. He can't give us exact dates, but I think he can give us estimates of timeframes.
Can we get him to start writing that, or is it kind of some cut and paste stuff that he's got?
And
The
then,
RFP,
I don't know, I'll ask him.
just to be ahead of the.
He already,
curve a
because
little bit.
I think it's based off of, let me ask him.
Yeah, I mean, you do all that ahead of time.
Yeah.
I think, also for the public hearings, I will have the comments of the planning board, the conservation commission. I have additional comments that will come in from public that I will share. And I think that's it. We'll have the estimate, we'll also have the plan, the draw, it's the estimate or, why can't I talk? It's the scale plan that it's not like a final plan until we get the survey done, but we'll have that for the public hearing, so.
Good.
Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Talk to, the other town's attorney, Sean Tangy. We're working on the transfer of licenses for the fiber build-out. He has raised a concern, according to the agreement we have with the Hub 66, as the phases are built out, we are supposed to transfer the licenses to Hub 66. His concern is that he's only been provided an Excel spreadsheet showing the work that has been completed with the development agreement, but there's no way to confirm if this is accurate. I don't think we're going to get anything more official from Hub 66, but I wanted to ask you if you have a concern as well. When they present to us, they only present with the Excel sheets. They're tracking what they've built out. I don't know how else we can confirm.
Yeah,
other
to say
than-
how would we know?
Right, other than to say, them saying that they've built it out, right, but,
Yeah, I mean, what else? What other proof they can, I mean, they
right.
can draw fancy maps and that's no different than.
Right, it's no different than an Excel sheet with fancy maps, because they're doing them too.
The only way to confirm is have somebody go and look in the polls and see if they actually did.
Or have customer feedback at the
Yeah.
certification.
You could look at the poles, but you don't know it's turned on or fully wired, you could
Yeah.
have wires
Right,
hanging,
yeah.
so my thoughts are the Excel sheet is sufficient, but I just wanted to.
We're taking their word for it one way or the other.
Highway department, there's a couple of thank yous in there, that was nice to share. I don't think they all made it to your packet, but I thought this was a nice touch. The highway foreman emailed the chiefs, both in police and fire, and said he'd like to thank the fire and police department personnel that were involved in last Thursday's storm. Once again, using the fire department as central control point in the cut crew that they put on the road. Along with the police calling in down trees, we were able to keep roads open and continue the snow removal efforts. All of these efforts made a huge difference in the town's handling of a very difficult storm. Thank you again on a great job between all three departments. I thought it was a nice touch, so I thought it would be nice to share with the
Yeah,
Nice.
basically what happened is they kind of put a crew together just to chase down trees, as the highway department was calling them in, and fire department ended up doing 38 calls for service that day. It was
So,
Essentially what happened is they ended up having to dispatch their own calls. Because Lakes Region Fire was so inundated, they were just having departments. We've done it in the past, and it worked out very well, and it was a huge help to not. I know I went up Jennis Hill Road and I weaved in and out of a couple trees, and then all of a sudden it was like bang, tree across the road, and I just called down to the station and they sent a crew up there, and I was able to get up through there within an hour, so big help.
there's another person here, and this is from, I thought was a nice touch as well. This is from the storm before, because we've gotten hit with 2 in a row. Here's to Mark Buckland and the hardworking crew at the Bristol Road Department for keeping streets safe. What a fine bunch they are. And people actually added and said, we've lived in several states and this is the very best for snow removal and maintenance. Thank you, Mark and the team. We have the best road crews here in New Hampshire, in all of New England. Just drive over the border to Maine and see how bad their roads are. And then they are a terrific team and a dedicated group. So I thought that was nice to share as well. Speaking of the storms, we obviously found that we had some backup systems that failed.
That's all night.
Okay. So I have, we're already working on network redesign. I think I've mentioned it to you before because with the fiber, the design doesn't completely protect us. I'll just leave it at that in the public session. If we talk in non-public, I can go in more. We've gotten a new network redesign, and in that network redesign with our IT company, we are talking about protecting us more, looking at our backups and throwing in some redundancy. This is the first stage. This is part of the 5-year plan, and so this is the second year of it. And so just let you know, we do know that we need to fix things. The thing that also we know that some of the fiber is not finished, so when that is finished, going out towards Hebron that way and completely looping back in, there will be some protection that way. And we're also talking about redundancy by putting some of the fiber systems into the public safety building as a backup fail-safe. So when this building fails, if this building fails, we affect the Tapley Thompson Center right now, we affect all the town buildings. So we want to have some more redundancy put in, so if something fails here, that building can take over and protect, and we won't go completely down again. We went down with internet and phones. Part of it was the backups weren't wired appropriately. And the second part of it was the backups also failed because Breeze line was down. So, but if we had had the loop around the fiber, we would have been better protected. So, I'm sorry.
So it's my understanding there's not a single copper line going on this building.
Currently, no.
Or
We switched over our alarm system to a wireless. Copper is being eliminated. And I have to find the rule. They're supposed to be eliminated by a certain time, and I think it's this year by October, but don't quote me on that. And all copper, we're supposed to be going away from it. The problem with that, obviously, as you see, is that we ran into problems. We've had nothing. We had no backup. We had nothing. So.
you know what didn't go down during that storm? The 100-year-old fire alarm system. Yeah, it didn't work.
Of course it did.
Yeah, there must have been a major server outage though, because
So
you
Summer
couldn't even
Street.
get internet through Verizon.
Yeah.
Summer Street had a 144 fiber line break. The tree came down and took the whole thing out. They had to wait for the electric company. So we had three breaks, 2 on Summer Street, 1 on River Road. We learned also from this that we have a priority, that we can pull that priority card with Eversource and with the co-op. Not as much with the co-op, but with Eversource. You have 3 priorities in a day as a municipality. And they're like, well, do you want to use your priority? I'm like, and he's like, you only have 3. And I'm like, I want to use my priority. So we use the priority to get the electric company out here, and they called back and they're like, well, the electricity isn't why, they didn't understand why we were using a priority, because we don't get electricity from them. And I said, well, if you don't fix the line, the fiber people can't fix theirs, they have to wait for the electric company to fix first. So, but it took them over 8 hours to fix, so over 8 hours just on the fiber.
Yeah.
Not the rest. So they have to take every piece of 144 slice and re-slice it together.
Yeah.
So, like UNH was great. UNH came up, they drove the line to make sure there were no additional breaks for us. Hub 66 is having trouble getting notified by the providers when there's breaks. So we got a call list from the fire department and we sent it to them so they knew where their breaks were so they could start fixing them. But it definitely was a learning curve. So we learned a lot. We're gonna work on fixing it. I also wanted, there's a thank you for the highway department, another one. In February, we sent a truck to the Laconia Public Works. They did a parade to recognize, they had lost Kenneth Martell. So they did a parade for his graveside service. He had worked at the city of Laconia's Public Works for 47 years. So they sent us a thank you, and the thank you, it says, your efforts demonstrated that the Public Works is a community equal to the police and fire communities in that we honor our fallen, whether it is on or off the job. Our efforts were on the front page of the February 21st edition of the Laconia Daily Sun if you have not seen the paper. The city thanks, and they listed all the towns that participated, so. But it was real, we sent one truck to participate. Road bans have been lifted except for Hemlock Brook Road and Hemp Hill Road. We've updated the posting online. Hemlock Brook and Hemp Hill will remain posted a little longer, but usually it's only a week or two after the postings are lifted.
Christine, did you miss the seasonal labor or did I miss it?
No, I'm going back now.
Okay.
I was looking for the email. So we have talked, so our seasonal labor is coming back, that's good news. I've talked to Les and I talked to Mark before we asked him to come back. He can't, we were trying to get him to come back in time to do memorial prep for the cemetery trustees, and he can't. So I didn't get to talk to Mark yet or the cemetery trustees, but we're concerned they're not going to be able to get the work done. I know Mark helps do some of it, but they are also short-staffed. So I'm not sure. I think we could probably put a volunteer notice out, maybe asking people, but one thing Deb mentioned, which I thought was a nice idea, is to reach out to the realtors to see if they're doing the Give Back Day again. Because they cleaned up a certain area of town last year with a Give Back Day, so, but I figured I'd reach out to you. I also wanted to make sure you were still okay with the once a month cleaning. The seasonal person, we had him do the once a month mowing of the cemeteries to help out the two trustees.
Maybe some kind of post on like the Bristol Buzz or something about, volunteers needed kind of thing.
You can put it on Facebook too.
Facebook, yeah.
Bless you.
Kate, is it Kate that does, do you do the Facebook posts and everything there, or is that?
Most of them.
Most of them Kate does, I do some of them.
Yeah.
But Kate does majority of them. I did delete one recently and blocked a couple of weird things that were popping up on it. I didn't get to tell you that yet, Kate. There was some weird,
Was it the one about the shirts or something?
yeah, so I deleted it and blocked them because they were showing up on all of the posts all of a sudden from years ago. And then there was a weird, asking for something and I'm like, click, get out of there. But Katie's really good about keeping those things out, so.
Is it, we're only on Facebook, or are we on like Instagram or X, Twitter?
We have an Instagram account that's linked to the website that isn't really used for anything currently.
I had started using it, but it's hard to keep up with it when
Can we
you
link, you should be able to link Facebook and Instagram, so if you post on Facebook or Instagram, it'll cross-post.
Yeah, it usually asks me to do that, so I can just make sure. So we have an Instagram account, we have the Facebook account. I think that's it.
Not on
Yeah, that's it.
The town's
Twitter,
website.
X,
The
whatever.
Facebook account is set, if somebody sends us a direct message with a question, there's an auto reply that directs them to call the town office.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so I have the town's Facebook on this phone, and so when I get the messages, I usually will check it. But I leave it up to Kate normally, but.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was curious.
Okay, so are you okay with the once a month thing again?
Yeah.
I asked Les first because it's coming out of Kelly Park, so. I did wanna, I think that's the last thing for me for before non-public. Under the police department, I already did something for Chris Carter, but I did, wanna say a thank you in the public. I said Chris Carter went above and beyond the call of duty during the storm last week. He was taking calls, trying to get the wiring up, helping me get the computers on, working with the IT company, to figure out why the backup failed. So he did have me, he had the PD back online until Breeze Line failed again, but he had the PD back online by 2 o'clock that afternoon. And then he had me back online, I think at 3, so. But he also is doing a lot of work behind the scenes with the public safety building to make sure the wireless and other security are set up correctly. And he's working in coordination with IT, myself, and Ben. I didn't put Ben there, but so I just wanted to say out loud, he is definitely doing a lot to help out. So
Thank you.
I did provide him a special gift and a thank you today. So he was very pleasantly surprised, and so often he's speechless. he was a little like, I don't know what to say. So.
Yeah, in addition to that, the guys out on the road, they
Yeah.
were, I know I ran into Seth, in my private vehicle up on Lake Street. He was out there clearing branches out of the road, and, Tim Woodward up on Beacon Hill Road. So,
So except for the
good team effort by all that day.
I might send that email out.
All right, so. Select board items, Carol?
For some of the time that I missed, have you talked about the old fire station? We should get that on our radar soon, and the existing fire station.
Oh, I'm sorry, I went to South Main Street.
I know you did,
My
I
mind.
know you did, sorry. We should get it on our radar, a plan to move forward, with whatever we're gonna do. Because it's not that far till that building's open.
Yeah.
And this one is gonna start, we gotta start thinking about what are we gonna do with it.
It was recommended that you do a public hearing, but I've heard comments made that I don't know if that's something you want to do, but I think at this point, we wouldn't be setting a date until July or after to talk about it, would we?
I'm just saying, let's don't forget it.
Yeah, I think we should make it a priority, like I kind of said, you were there, but, where was I yesterday? Yeah.
Here,
In the interviews, I mentioned it, because, someone else had
yeah.
brought it up, and my comment was, when the trucks move out of the barn, let's have that conversation, and, I personally would be in support of having a public hearing, just because some final input from the town, that's fine.
Okay.
I know where I stand on it. personally, not as a board, not representing the board, but. Be-
That's one, two. Have you had a conversation with Mark about making some simple handicap, non-boulder sandy walkway?
No,
Okay.
but it's on my list.
Thank
It is on my list, but I have not. There's a lot of other stuff.
And then importantly, the VFW is gone. Are we gonna try to host a Memorial Day service?
That's not something the Legion, is the Legion gone too?
The Legion,
Well, no, well, I don't know if they would do it, but.
the Legion
So-
doesn't have a building here anymore.
Yeah, because Ronnie was VFW, correct?
Yeah.
Well, was it the Legion?
The Legion.
It was the Legion. Wait a minute.
The Legion doesn't do it.
No, I think it was, I think it was
Ron does it.
Yeah.
Ron's VFW.
Yeah,
Ron
Ron's
VFW. Ron has done it for like how many years?
Right.
I can't even say.
Forever.
Yeah.
So,
I know that I went up to the one in Hebron after here, because our guys went up, our VFW went up to do the flag and the salute. And the town sort of ran it, there was no VFW up there running it, the town ran it themselves.
Which the Hebron, it's, the former fire chief is very invested in it
Fisher?
usually.
John,
John Fisher,
Yeah.
thank you. He-
I think our best resource that we have at hand on this is Ben LaRoche. He's always been very involved with it every year. The fire department is always involved with it.
Scouts.
Yeah, scouts, that's a good point.
Usually it's the middle school bands.
Yeah, I think, I don't know who you, I don't know if it's
Middle
Ronnie
Island.
that usually coordinates it.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be worth talking to him about it.
It's something our events committee could take over? and coordinate?
Probably not.
I mean, it's more work on them, it's.
Yeah, it's
late,
gonna-
it's late in the day.
Ron used to would bring me the parade, you have to file a parade permit, so Ron would bring me the parade permit and I took care of getting all the signatures for it. And then he would file it with the state. I'd be happy to help with that if we were going to organize it, because I have the old ones and just copy them and put them in. But I couldn't, we would need somebody else to help run the event.
Will
I
they
would
do
have to
the
get it
parade?
going soon.
It could be a gentleman who's in the guard or the reserve that's on
Oh,
the
boy.
Penny Pathway.
Like Robbins.
Yeah, right?
Could you,
Didn't he run it last,
He
ran
ran
it
last year's. He did run last year's.
could you maybe have Deb reach out to, or you, whatever, however you want to do it?
He was in his
Yeah.
fatigues today on
Yeah.
the TV, so.
So between, at least start a conversation with the fire department and see if Ron, I'm sure Ron,
He'd give us direction, I'm sure, guys.
give us direction, I'm sure he'd want to be involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm sure, right?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't think so anyway. I think
Okay.
he would give us direction, yes, if I call and talk to him,
Sure.
but I don't think he would be able to be involved, so.
Okay. And then, like Les said, scouts and the schools, that's who's typically been
Well,
involved.
Ben's with Scouts too.
Ben's
so we
with
could
Scouts.
go.
He is, I think, more so Jamie than him.
Okay.
The Troop 50 in Bridgewater is a fishing game,
Josiah.
Yeah, Josiah is very involved in scouts, that's a good point. And of course, the PD, I'm sure, might have interest, I know there's a few of those guys that are, have some military service, so.
I mean, Ronnie would probably give you the to-do list.
He would, yeah.
Yep,
You gotta have-
that'd be
You
helpful.
gotta have the school bands.
Speaking of that,
I think I need to sign
who would,
it.
usually the VFW used to do the flags for the cemeteries. So the question would be, I think our cemetery, our town cemeteries are covered, they're gonna take care of the veterans flags. But I thought that the VFW, who did the flags for, that we would pay, we paid what, $700?
So, I don't know about that, I know particularly with the fire department, Cindy Rogers was also very involved with that as well. So that'd be a good,
She'd be a good resource, yeah.
Because we did have money that we put in the budget within part of the flags that normally gets spent on the veterans' flags, so.
So maybe Ron would have an idea if there's any military personnel we could get to march and do a gun salute from somewhere else. I mean, they're all gonna be busy that day, but.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's my list, yep.
Scott?
Planning board met last night, and there's 4 cases, so it's gonna start getting busier. We are still short a member and a alternate. So if there's anybody that wants to join the planning board, there, you can contact John Miller, and he can answer questions if you have questions.
But they do have to submit an application to join, and then normally there's a meet and greet with the select board, but it's minor. I don't want to scare people with that.
Other than that, I think everything else has been discussed.
Don?
My turn. HDC met as well. One of the things they're doing is sending out a letter to the properties, I forget the,
79E.
what is it?
79E.
79E, which is the tax defer for fixing up buildings that are in the designated. There's more than just the HDC, there's other buildings that we designated. Some of the property owners have taken advantage of it in the past, but not near as many as I think should.
There were 5 total. Yeah.
Yeah, what it is, if you do more than 15% improvement, 15% of the value improvements, you can have the assessment deferred. Yeah, you won't be reassessed for that for 5 years.
You would be adjusted if the values changed, but you wouldn't be,
Yeah, you'd be reassessed, but you would, the improvements that you added on wouldn't be taxed for another 5 years essentially.
we're bringing it to the board next week. There are 3 that are done, and to determine if you want to ask about possible extensions. So Joanne and I will be talking to you next week about those,
Yeah.
because their assessments will be going up this year, so.
Yeah. And the other thing, Lucille brought up a couple of things just for us to think about. 2 suggestions at the parsonage. One is to, in the
I have that for your public hearing.
what's that?
I have that for your public hearing.
Her thing.
But
Yeah,
you go ahead.
2 of the good ideas that she had. One is to put up a kiosk in the green area
Yeah.
that we're gonna have.
Someone else told me that.
Yeah, which is a good idea. And the other, since there is water and sewer,
What kind of kiosk?
just information kiosk.
Like,
Oh.
like maybe a
Yes.
former site,
Yeah, it'd be a good spot for it.
Another welcome.
historical.
Yeah, we could resurrect, Les would probably remember the town crier.
Yeah, well, I don't
That
think
was
that's what she wanted, though. She was talking more of historical.
Yeah, I know, I'm just reminiscing on.
I remember the town crier.
Stay over there.
The other thing that I thought of, we should at least, when we're doing it, we don't have to do this, but maybe preserve or prepare for the future if we would want to put a public restroom in that area. Since
Yeah.
There's water and sewers, water and sewer service.
That's the same.
Probably.
I've heard from 2 different people that.
Okay,
Yeah,
That would
Which-
be a good idea.
I heard that, I think that's a great idea.
especially if we're gonna continue to have outdoor music out down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different things, plus, restaurants and stuff like that are downtown, people will go just go in and use their restrooms as public restrooms, so.
Well,
While
we'll
you're,
we can discuss that further down.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw the idea out, plant the seed, and it would, thought it was a good idea.
she also mentioned in the email something about if you didn't do a kiosk, she wouldn't suggest moving the former chamber building, the red one, but to do something like that with the bathroom, so like
Yeah.
if people stopped in downtown, they
Yeah.
could get the flyers. They don't go up there and see it at Mill Street.
Mhm.
They would see it downtown more if you had flyers for events and stuff, so.
If you did maybe a bathroom, a restroom with a side awning off the side,
Yeah,
Yeah, with
and then,
with a bulletin board.
yeah,
essentially,
and some boxes or something,
Here we go again, Project Creep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eagle Scout. That'd be a good Eagle
Well, the
Scout.
first thing I'm thinking is who's gotta clean the bathrms?
well, that's the thing.
Well, that's, yeah, there's a lot of things
It's the
involved.
same thing at Kelly Park, but.
We hire somebody to clean them sometimes.
Yeah,
And when are they gonna be, they'd have to have like a timer on them or something,
lock,
because you
yeah.
don't wanna lock them at night.
yeah.
We might be able to wire in
No,
something with
'cause-
the fiber optics, right? Can't we do a remote?
Maybe. My comment to the other individual that said that is about the time that, we have to take care of, needles. I'm not.
Well, and that's
Oh, yeah,
my
there's
concern,
others,
is, you know, I just.
Policing and everything.
I don't wanna
else
find
is-
out somebody's living in it,
Right, yeah, policing it is always, you know, something we
Yeah.
have to.
Could we do,
Just the.
but it's also in an area where that'd be far more noticeable.
Yeah,
could you do a enclosure around a porta potty? And then rental like we do at the other sites?
We
As
could
long as the
do.
no swimming sign is.
I have that picture.
I'll never forget that.
I drove by and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Did somebody move the porta potty when that happened?
So,
I made them move it.
so, you know, that's a discussion,
No, we
right?
installed it under the no swimming
So
sign and I
wasn't
made them move
okay,
it.
yeah.
Sorry.
Now that that's, I mean, if, once it's finalized, maybe we look at least putting a porta potty over in the parking lot, because, look at, we already approved the pit to book
That's not a bad idea.
those shows.
oh, with the other ones that we do.
Yeah, we
that's
could,
true.
we could, we don't have it budgeted, but for this year to add a porta potty, but if it happened, it won't
Yeah.
happen that this year probably,
I
but.
don't wanna, yeah.
You
No,
have
but
to enclose
I'm just
it.
saying out in the park, where that trailer was parked, there was a trailer over there by the parsonage in the first lot. I mean, you put a porta potty there for now.
Yeah.
And see how it goes.
Something
Yeah.
that can't be tipped.
Yeah,
Well,
right over the wall.
isn't it often the person that puts on a venue, they provide those things?
They do, but.
But it's Central Square, they're not gonna.
It's
put
open to the
porta
public,
potties.
quote unquote.
Right.
I don't think we wanna be building public bathrooms, that's. a
I mean,
conversation for another
I
day.
guess I'm, you know, I look at like, you know, coming up, we have the Purple Pit is
Yeah,
holding events on the green there, but they're also opening their facilities as well,
Yeah,
so.
so, well,
Right.
those people will be using.
right,
that,
because
you know.
Yeah,
they're,
Not everybody wants to go in there and pay.
they're restricted too, no alcohol can leave any of the
right,
other
right,
stuff.
but that's not to say that there might not be other entities that might wanna have an event on the common that don't have facilities available to everyone.
Trick or treat, you know, tree lighting.
But I also don't wanna see a porta potty,
No, that's what I'm saying, if we did an
Like
enclosure or
the
something.
church.
yeah, out of sight,
Mhm.
you know.
Could make it a historic porta potty.
Anything else, Don?
No,
Can I go?
So, I'll go back to you, I don't wanna lose money.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one thing that I wanna see us start thinking about is the replacement of those trees downtown, and what is that gonna require, what's it gonna cost, is it possible?
I thought, we also talked previously, Sean was going to be, Sean volunteered to be involved in that
Yep.
to make sure.
Yeah.
And we were sort of gonna coordinate that, yeah.
Yeah.
With,
Conservation Commission.
no, Mark, Highway and Sean, pretty much. There are a couple of other trees that we are probably going to have to be looking at. One was dying in front of the community services, and one had been hit last year and was tied up still, and we're waiting to see if it's gonna live. We don't think it's going to though.
Yeah, there's a bunch in that whole area on the bank, like if you're driving from Merrimack Street from Central Street, if you look up that bank, but pretty sure those are all on private property there, so. But there's a lot of elms in there that are just coming, that are coming down their own.
Yep.
So,
So do you want me to set something up with Sean and Mark
Yeah,
Discuss
you know, it
first.
doesn't be right away, but I think we should get the ball rolling on it at least. I had a brief conversation with Lucille about the Christmas tree. And, you know,
They like the idea now, I heard.
they like the idea, but my only concern is I feel like it's gonna interfere with some of these events in
Yeah.
In the summer.
in that area, you know, so.
Parsonage.
Does anybody,
Christmas tree party?
speaking of Christmas
On that
lights,
side, you could.
does anybody know if the lights that are on the Lynn Cross building, I'm hearing that they were ours, that the town put them up? And they've been there forever.
Like 10 years ago?
So they're broken, they're hanging, and if they were the town's installed, somebody's questioning if we should remove them, but I haven't reached out to find out anything yet. On the former Lynn Cross building, let me say that.
Oh, the
Sorry, the former Lynn Cross
Yeah,
building.
Conversation
sorry.
that needs to occur with the building owner.
Yeah.
Steve Faber was involved in putting those up, ask him.
Yeah, if they're ours, we should take them down.
Because they are broken,
Yeah, I
so,
know, when they put all that stuff up, I'm pretty sure Steve was involved with that.
okay.
And that was kind of a neat thing they did.
It looked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
That was good.
But I think since that happened, ownership of buildings has changed and,
Yeah,
but it'd be cool to see
there
that.
was some angst in that whole thing too.
Was there?
Yeah, why am I paying for the electric for lighting
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
Yeah.
Les?
Couple things, Kelly Park Committee met the other day, Monday or
Yeah, I
Tuesday,
think
Monday.
Monday.
And they are looking to go forward with putting a paved path from the tennis court parking lot to the playground.
Awesome.
And so we're just gonna look at funding and make sure, we did encumber funds towards that.
Yeah.
And so we're waiting to see on that, but they're looking, moving forward, and they're gonna pull all the logs, Highway's gonna pull the logs out around the sand area, and we're looking at purchasing an actual playground sandbox that would stand up like the equipment does, so that was one thing. And then community events met, we had the spring fling dance. We only had about 40 people, but the weather had been, some people probably still didn't have power, and the band was great. People that were there had a really good time, and so we'll probably do it again. It was club soda. And what else?
How many people did you have?
I think there were 40,
40, that's cool.
but we've had 100.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so but it was still a good night. I think people enjoyed it, and
I think the Friday is probably another reason
Yeah.
potentially that you didn't have as many,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
I
we'll
think
be
it was-
scheduled
Yeah, what are you gonna do, right?
right.
with the band. I'm trying to think what else was coming up in community events.
You have a candy bar bingo coming up, but I can't remember.
Oh,
when.
bingo is Saturday at the Old Town Hall. It's candy bar bingo. And you just bring your candy bars, or you can purchase a candy bar there, and then they play 4 candy bars, and the families have really enjoyed it. So this is the
That's
third
like
time.
kids kind of.
Kids,
Yeah.
parents, anybody can
You
go.
said Saturday?
Oh, I think the doors open at 6.
This Saturday?
It's this Saturday.
Who's
I don't have the building.
No, it's community events committee.
Okay.
I didn't book the building, so I don't think it's a problem.
For that one too.
I think it's this, yeah, I know it's Saturday, because I'm not gonna be able to be there.
Boy.
Sorry, I'm trying to
You
look
will,
at the
sir?
meeting calendar.
I'm good.
Scott, do you have something?
Oh, I
Yes.
did, I booked the building, you're all set, sorry.
Something very exciting
But I didn't check the keys.
that we found out last night is that the Family Dollar building
Oh, yeah?
is sold. And
Yay.
we're gonna have a new business in town.
Nice.
Black Cat.
Black Cat Coffee.
Huh?
I found it on Facebook.
Black Cat Coffee.
They're online.
Yeah, they do online sales for K-Cups.
Distributor.
Nice.
And possibly a retail.
Yeah, small retail store in the front
But
end.
it's not gonna, my understanding is it's not gonna be like a.
No,
No, it's
yeah.
not a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's
Black
been in
Cat.
business in the Lakes region for years. He was started in Tilton Northfield and then
I've ordered from them online.
over to Tilton, to the Frudenberg building and now he's currently in Laconia.
Yeah.
In the industrial park, so.
Cool.
There's gonna be a sweet treats.
Yeah, is that the one, the
Is
same
it-
one as
Oh.
Tilton?
It's,
So
it's next door to.
There's already-
it's the
Sweet
same
treats
owners
house.
as the pet store.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's Scott and
that's
Tara.
cool.
Yeah.
Candy bar bingo is 4 o'clock, the doors open and starts at 4:30. They'll have pizza, snacks and drinks for sale.
I did book the building, so you're all set.
We're on track with fireworks.
Oh, glad you brought that up, sorry. I got the contract back to them, I'm working on the permit applications they submitted, I sent them have a 50% deposit. It went out today, and when do you wanna have your first fireworks committee meeting? And I've gotten no volunteers. We put it on Facebook, we put it on the town site. Did we put it in the buzz too, the volunteers for the fireworks?
It's going this one for tomorrow.
Yeah, so right now, not one person has submitted their name or even asked questions. I said we were looking for 1 or 2 community members to participate on the committee to host, to move the event forward and nothing. So, but we should start meeting soon.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be on it if you need somebody to be on it.
Let's shoot,
I haven't seen that post on Facebook.
I haven't either, that's why I was
So
wondering.
it was, I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it today.
Okay.
We can
I haven't been
repost
on a lot.
Maybe, I was gonna say first week of May, is that too late?
it.
We could do it sooner if.
Well, April vacation's coming up too.
Yeah, you might want, first week of May is
That's
probably
what I
fine.
was gonna say, I mean, I'm gonna be around this year, but if I'm not.
When is April vacation? It's not the
It's
first.
the 20th to the
Okay.
27th.
Maybe we'll get some more people interested by then.
Yeah.
So so I'm gonna just reach out to the normal people, which would be a member of the highway department, a member of the police department. I've actually asked the department heads to give me a name, they haven't yet, so I'll follow up on that. But a member of the highway department, a member of the police department, a member of the fire department, Rob, and then hopefully some community members, and then, I help with the stuff, so. And then whoever else would love to join. But yes, we are on track, they confirmed yesterday, I hadn't heard from them, I was a little concerned, and they responded, so.
Just one last thing for the camera, we are moving ahead, trying to fill the finance director and human resources positions. We will be extending an offer for one of those and just updates to follow, so. Public comments, Kate? All right.
Just a short, non-public.
Yeah.
Need a motion to go into non-public?
Alright, motion to go into non-public session pursuant to RSA 91A 2 A, B, and C.
Second.
Okay, motion by Don, second by Scott. Carol?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Rob, aye.
Aye.
I was aye. All right.